Yeah, did you see the views? It's just suddenly jumped up in the last few weeks. We've been getting referrals or suggested.
It was like an autoplay up next from porn videos. So
is that what it was?
yeah, well, I looked at like some of them and the titles of some of them. Let me see if I can quickly bring up because it might be quite interesting. To be fair. So yeah, we suddenly got random loads of views on. Pause that. Go to this, and yeah, you can see. You can see where people have trafficked from in order to see where we are. So if we take that one for example, this is the other video. I didn't look at this one. So where did these guys come from? Was it reach? 3% came from Jerry Springer. What? Hang on, I got right. Yes, yeah. Basically, we randomly had 2 episodes have like hundreds of views, which is a lot for us. So it was like, where did these come from? And I'm just having a quick look now, and yeah, 2% came from girls showing their toes with the jeans emoji. This is a great name for a video, and I want to stress this is multiple. 2% of that's multiple. That's like 10 people came from there. And 1% came from the boy drank 3 jugs of peach blossom wine and 3 jugs of osmanthus wine and felt like a fair. 1% came from conversations and questions, just in general. Yeah. Chop it up with R and K. Oh yeah. Truth or drink featuring my boyfriend. Oh, with a subcaption of "We expose ourselves." Okay.
We never
casting couch. Yeah. Mary's Misadventures 12. I didn't even know this stuff was on.
She's very misadventurous.
She keeps on getting misguided off the
12
off the
times.
Path. 12th time. French condom commercial. Kids are a pain. Okay, I guess I've done. How to overcome comparison and live from abundance. Watch our show. Creating the Frankenstein's monster. A girl kissing a dog on the lips. We're up next. We might have touched into Cash shows meaty wrinkles. Okay. My best friend's wife.
What the fuck happened?
The most interesting police arrest. Oh. Sexy, semi-formal office outfit cross-dressing. Right. So yeah, we're finally on YouTube.
I mean, on average, it said they get about 6.5 minutes in before they turn it up. Like,
where's the misadventure? When's it coming?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of interesting, but it's not that interesting.
It's not Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's not girls showing their toes. Yeah,
imagine clicking girls show their toes and ended up with us. Like, it's ruined your night.
Next. Yeah, I'm wearing a sensitive jumper.
We got 2 guys that look like toes.
Riding on the Gulf beaches. All right. Ernst 2.
Ernst.
It's Ernst. All right, fair enough. Well, we appreciate you. If anyone's coming here from Mary's Misadventures, welcome. I wonder if they're all on YouTube. Maybe it could be a series. Get ready with me. The Office quotes. Oh, The Office. Ugh.
I thought you liked The Office.
I recently rewatched it, so obviously I don't detest it that much. But it is a painful series to watch sometimes. The American version is very painful to watch.
Yeah.
Very cute. Meet cute.
Yeah.
Look how adorable we are. Don't get it. Don't get it. Choke them. Choke them now. Did you feel that was overplayed?
What?
Krasinski and the other one?
Did I feel what was overplayed?
The whole relationship and everything about it.
I don't know. Like, I wasn't like big on the The Office in general. Like it wasn't something that I watched while it was on. Like I wasn't caught up in the zeitgeist of it all. So like by the time the American one came around, again, like I it was one of those things that I watched because everyone was watching it and be like, this is awesome. It's like, okay, cool. And it's like, it's okay. It's a bit bland, but it's okay. It's another one of those things where it's like, there are awesome moments and then there is waiting for the moments.
It's just, we'll go into it within this episode, but I'm somewhat, as I've said, tried to describe before, tried to find the words for it. I'm just unrelatable, I think, to a lot of different things. Yeah. And
which is why it's so surprising that we've got like 300 views on the last. Yeah. I don't relate to this guy at all. He's not a toe.
Yeah, this is people looking for a missing Mary.
Yeah.
Like it's but somewhat unrelatable. So, and what that means is, to me, from my understanding of it, is there's like a load of different life experiences that people go through, like your first puppy love relationship, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody has some version of that on average. Like maybe Ted Danson didn't. I don't know, but most people have like a soppy, teenage love thing. Yeah. But then I just go. You get over that. You go further beyond it, and I think I just have a tendency to. I'm just interested in pushing boundaries a little bit in terms of. Trying to explore more of myself, and I just find myself like, well, that seems so small to me. Like that puppy love relationship, I'm sure many people would say their first puppy love relationship wasn't as strong as their later relationships because they're more complex. They've become more and more.
It seems weird and kind of unrelatable to be reenacting that in an office when you're 30.
Yeah, and you go like, but I think people do that, right? But I just feel bad for them because it's just like there's you could have so much more in your life. You could be so much more of a person, but instead you're just like, oh, we're gonna air high five, and that's how we express love. Like, okay, so, just okay, fine. I can't hate on it because it's probably the average because people really relate to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like these shows didn't invent that. That was around, and they were just like, okay, let's exploit it.
Well, that's why they got so popular. When you just see people in, it's just seeing strange, unrelatable characters for me on screens and stuff like that. It's usually just weird. And it's usually simplified, or it's trying to be manipulative. I mean, we've talked about dancing baby trees many times before in films. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, yeah, everyone was that fucking dancing tree at one point. Then they stopped. Did you not stop, world? The world just stayed fine. Yeah.
If you're new here, Nick hates Groot.
I hate Groot. I hate it. Don't understand. It's like being, is it patronised? It's being like, oh yeah, look at this dog. Isn't it great? This is lovely. Same with Baby Yoda. Again, it's just the same thing. It's just the same. And anyway,
did you like Furbies? Were you into Furbies? Did you have a Tamagotchi?
My neighbour had a Tamagotchi,
and I just killed his instead.
No, my neighbour had a Tamagotchi. I never did. I think I've described before as it's probably a maternal instinct, right? A paternal. No. Yeah, a maternal instinct. It's because you're wanting to look after and love. Yeah. I think paternal is more to protect. And I don't want to protect that tree. Fuck that tree. Anyway. It was episode 227. We're on episode 227. We're making it. We're doing it. It's good. You had a good week?
Yeah.
In brief?
Yeah, it's No, it's been all right. It's another one of those kind of like getting your life together kind of weeks. Like, I know, it's disgusting. But so like, while I was thinking about it, it was like years ago, I didn't use like a calendar at all, or like any kind of diary or fucking anything. Someone told me like, do this at this point, and I'd just pretend I could remember, and then I'd get an angry phone call on the day. Where are you? Like, I'm not there. But then like when I met Vic, she was like, you should just get a fucking calendar like a normal person and write shit down. And now I'm at a point where I can't imagine not having one. So I'm trying to implement sort of the same thing with my work projects and create like a spreadsheet kind of digital space that just tells me everything that I'm working on and when it's due and everything like that, because now I've got so many things kind of bouncing around that things are getting in the way and overlapping of each other, and I'm certain I've got time to do everything, but I just have to be more strategic about how I plan it, because otherwise I just end up in that space that I always end up in, where I'm just like, no, I can't do it, I haven't got time, when it's like I just need to be smarter about how I'm doing it. So it's been one of those kind of like life organizing kind of things. And I've implemented there's some productivity video somewhere that I saw, because the thing I've been making this spreadsheety thing on is called Notion, and it's like a weird kind of databasey thing that you can use for notes, and you're essentially making like a wiki of your life.
Right.
But so and that led me down like a YouTube rabbit hole of like not motivational, productivity shit, because there's fucking tons of it now. If every other person on YouTube I find is either a productivity person, a camera person, which makes sense for myself, or a minimalist. Like, and it's just they don't really spread straight outside of those categories. But anyway, so there was some video that I found on there that was like talking about like learning new skills and how it's best to do it and everything. And they said to implement like you should spend an hour a day learning a new skill or some new skills or something like that. And it was something that like presidents did or some shit. People far like with far loftier aspirations than I've got. My aspirations are like pay your bills, not like rule the country. But so I've been learning. I've been learning, teach myself to touch type, because I've never been able to do that. Like just typing without looking at the keyboard. I feel like I can, but it's just a confidence thing, I guess. But then when you break it down to technique and shit, like I'm not using the right fingers, they're not hitting the right keys or whatever. Like it's that shit. What?
Like, sorry, no, you're not using the right fingers. I'm using my toes. I'm using the index for P or boo, boo.
It's like this. Well, there's meant to be like each finger's got a set of keys that it uses, and it's the most efficient way to do things. But like, I'm not so much bothered about that as I am just about knowing where they are without looking. Because it seems like, as someone who's on a computer for 90% of my work time, that I should be able to do that by now. I've just always been too lazy to learn. So that and Spanish. Learn to speak Spanish.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? You can touch type in Spanish, right?
Duolingo. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of Duolingo.
Yeah.
I find Duolingo weird. I did some Russian briefly because I've got some Russian friends, and like one of the first phrases you learn in Russian is, "That's not my father." Like, what? This is all right.
Look, if you need anything, like as soon as you get off the plane, you'll need this one.
That, and I think it was velocipede, which is bicycle. All right. But it didn't give me any. It just said, "What is this word?" And there's some Russian guy said velocipede. I was like, I don't know. So I phoned my Russian mate, like, who wants to be a millionaire? Yeah. What the fuck is velocipede? It's a bike. All right. Hooray. I've done my dailies. Touch typing for me, because I decided to do it really young.
I figured it's just something that was natural to you anyway, or that you'd figured out. I just got to a point of competency with typing where I'm just like, well, I can type fast enough and I don't really need to look up. So like, I just never bothered.
This is as much as I want to invest in this. But no, all I did was just don't look at the keyboard anymore. Yeah. And it just takes a bit of getting used to, and then you're fine. So in terms of method and history of it and technique, it'd be like, I
think it's like anything. Like I always, if you pick, because there's a couple of websites that I use, and if you pick them up, they always tell you like, put your hands here and do all this stuff, and it's like, I'm speed wise, like I'm picking it up in no time. Because essentially my hands already know what they're doing. I've been typing for fucking years. It's the only disconnect I've got is there are certain keys or certain combinations of stuff where I'm used to being able to kind of look down. So it's just kind of just breaking that barrier. But it's like anything. Like I've been doing it for like half an hour a day for the last week, and it's getting more and more and more comfortable. So I imagine within a couple of months I'll be fine.
I think violence.
Always.
Just
always.
I am thinking about this more and more in terms of like how to do things. Like whenever I hear these things of like, well, you know, you should analyze this and get and practice in this way. I'm more and more. I'm just like, no, just violently do it and you'll be fine. And if you just do it, because that's how I used to say as a kid, was if you just do something, like if you were sad, just be happy.
Yeah,
and it works. So you just do it then. Yeah. But like people think it's like, oh no, but what if I don't want to? It's like, well, no, don't want to do it. Just do it, and then just do it violently, and you get more out of it. People are more responsive when you're violently happy.
Yeah,
right. This kind of works. I mean, I'm vaguely trying to get, not trying to get my life together, but just like trying to be more responsible. I mean, again, I don't know whether there was an article about that I'll bring up, that I might as well just dive into now, but there was an article like My Story kind of thing, and it was of a woman, and I'll read through the article. It's not too long, but it made me give my usual response. The article starts, I drink Diet Coke from the moment I wake up until I go to sleep. That's 5 cans on a good day, and 7 cans on a bad day. That's not when you wake up till you go to sleep. That's the worst phrasing of, you drank 5 cans of, you drank 1.5 liters of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And it took you 18 hours. No, it didn't. You just shut the fuck up. My boyfriend jokes about my morning routine. I wake up, I pad to the kitchen. You don't pad. You walk. Stop trying to sound like a pattering elf or whatever the fuck. The sound of a can cracking, a hiss, glug, glug, glug. Yes. Every morning.
Why is
Do you not want to punch this person? I don't know anything about them, but I'd like to break their throat.
Why is that unbelievable? So every morning you go to the kitchen and get a drink.
Yeah. Mental.
Nuts.
This is a special person. This is someone that's relatable. Unrelatable because of how crazy it is, right?
Yeah.
Using some back of a fag packet maths, I estimate that I have drunk 11,300 litres of Diet Coke in 31 years on this earth. It's probably more, but I'm just rounding. You know, that is more than 11,000 litres of caramel fizz, fermenting my insides, bathing my liver in foam. You're 31.
Yeah.
Your life hasn't evolved, but I mean, just right. So 5 or 7 on a bad day, right? 7 is 2 litres. So you drank 2 litres. Well, let's give it more. Say 3 litres. Fuck it. 3 litres of drink she's had a day. I know you drink like nothing, apparently, right? You drink very little. In comparison, I drink like 12 litres of liquid a day.
I don't drink a lot, but like if I 4 or 5 coffees a day, something like that.
I think coffee's about the same size of a can. So
yeah,
in comparison to her, she drinks about twice as much Diet Coke as you do liquid during the day, I guess.
Okay.
So it's not insane. Well, it's certainly not insane to me. It's minuscule compared to me. But it's just, I don't understand why this is a big thing. I think the whole thing is she's addicted to drinking Diet Coke specifically. I spend at least £500 a year on the stuff. It's embarrassing for me. When I go on holiday, I buy it from the supermarkets. And my friends find it really funny. Look at this freak. Buying drinks in a supermarket. We're not even in England. I get anxious if I don't have Diet Coke in the fridge as bedtime approaches. That's obviously, that becomes a little bit more, there's something going on if you've got anxiety because you haven't got it. I run to the shop in the middle of the night to ensure there's a cold can waiting for me in the morning.
Yeah, but I can relate to that. Like if we run out of milk, I'll make sure I get some the night before so I've got some for the morning. It doesn't make me anxious. I think that's bullshit. It's like,
if it was the middle of the night, would you go to a 24-hour garage?
No.
Or would you just wait until the morning?
You'd wait until the morning.
Yeah, so maybe there's something else going on, right? Not crazy, but just like there's an addiction at play, is what I would say. According to my GP, if during an endoscopy, If enduring an endoscopy won't stop you drinking fizzy drinks, then you're definitely addicted. To keep the costs down, I buy 24 can crates from my local supermarket. The staff know me there and remind me if I forgot to pick up a crate. This is mortifying, but helpful. I'm mortified, but I'm appreciative. It's good. It's fine. And it just, again, unrelatable. Everyone's got their own problems and their own struggles in life, right? And this person is evidently struggling with something, but I'm 10 times the insane that she is. It's in terms of volume of liquid. Even if you just look at my water intake, I drink 12 litres of water a day. It's about 12 litres of liquid just every day. And it's just like, well, you're drinking 4 times the consumption that you are. That's not a good thing.
No.
But it just means how I'm meant to sympathise with like that and the weird little baby tree that's dancing in films. I can't relate to that. I can't empathise with that when I'm filled with so much liquid. Fucking weirders. This weird people. There were some comments to it. They followed up because people really loved that article.
Why?
One quote was, "When I quit, my skin would change colour slightly. If you stop drinking, Lucozade, you'd change colour."
Yeah, it's got food colouring in it. Like if you have a lot of something, it's got a stain in it, like a colorant, it does change your skin. That's not uncommon.
Yeah. Well, if you stop eating colour, you might not ingest as much colour.
Yeah, you get that from carrots and tomatoes and shit, don't you?
Yeah, maybe beetroot. I think what's another red thing?
Radishes.
Yes, beetroot.
They're only red on the outside.
What are the small radishes, isn't they? They're like called baby radishes. Is it baby radishes?
I don't know. I thought they were all the same.
Isn't a radish like pretty big, like a cabbage?
No.
They're all small radishes.
They're all pretty small. Yeah.
Fucking
like no bigger than. Yeah, they're like half the size of an onion.
What's a pork medallion? Glorified, isn't it?
I never buy them, but it's like a round bit of pork. I don't know where the fuck they get it from.
Yeah. I don't get pork, to be fair.
No?
Anyway. No, I'm saying, but I think there's beef medallions as well in there.
But yeah,
just people trying to win the Olympics by eating meat.
I mean, a beef medallion is just a burger, isn't it?
Oh, that's minced though, isn't it? I think a medallion's not minced.
Oh. These are the conversations that people have, aren't they?
This is what Mary's Misadventures 13 is going to be about. Was it Mary?
She thought it was pork.
Yeah. And the other quote that people responded to it was, "I can easily have a Coke with every meal." Wow.
Life
you
goals.
Can have a can of drink with every single meal. 3 meals, maybe 6 meals if you're on a diet, a particular diet.
Yeah.
I've always looked at that and been like, that's what normal people are doing. Normal people think it is exceptional to have a drink with every meal, or to have a fizzy drink or sugary drink with every meal. And it's just like, it's not just sugar with me, it's like everything. This is what I mean about pushing boundaries. One day I thought maybe I'll have a drink with every meal that I eat. And then I got over that and thought, well, that's kind of normal. Now I'll try having a drink between meals. Oh my God, the possibilities. And then suddenly you just look back and you'd be like, there's a willful ignorance there where you just don't want to take a risk and have a drink. You don't want to maybe you skipped a drink with your lunch or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But yeah, it kind of put me a bit out. Yeah, it'd be a bit more like, I'm unrelatable, or I can't relate to the average person, I don't think. I mean, but I think it's for the better. It's just one of those realizations. I mean, I've got a smart home.
Yeah.
As in, I've got these like dots and spots and shows or whatever around
all the
my
Amazon
house.
Stuff. You got an Echo.
And I mainly use it just to control my lights, because my light switch isn't near my bed, so I get in bed and then turn off the lights with it, or I set alarms and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but I've been a bit under the weather, and like one of them fell off the shelf and was slowly buried by laundry and filth of general, whatever, bottles of drink or whatever. So my alarms go off, but it won't listen. You can't hear me properly to turn them off. So like it'll just go on. So every morning I'm having some kind of weird marital dispute with the internet that runs my house. As well, because I also because I sleep in somewhat weird stuff, so I have like a sleep apnea mask, so it's already kind of muffled. So I have to say like dismiss, alarm dismiss or whatever. And then, but it doesn't get heard. So then I have to like unstrap that. And by that time I'm frustrated. It's like, look, dismiss. And then it's just still going off.
But
it'll
your
listen.
room.
Well, no, it was just, I've been sick. So it was just underneath a bunch of clothes. So I was just like yelling at it. And it's like, for God's sake. And it's just like, you wake up like that. Oh, yeah, fine. And then obviously you come downstairs and it's the whole house. So I walk into my living room. It's like, oh, good morning, Nick. Like, oh, yeah. Good morning now, isn't it? Wake me up first thing in the morning. Not letting me snooze. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. It's good stuff. It's just, yeah, you really need to manage it. You really can't let your smart appliances get buried.
Don't let your house answer back. Like,
yeah,
just put it in line.
Don't like corner your washing machine and I don't know, other appliances or whatever. And then I got through to my doctors eventually after, I think last week I said it's like hours of being on hold. I eventually got through last week, which again I thought was quite funny because I'm a very relaxed person, but you could probably say that my medical situation at the moment is kind of alarming. But I'm just quite relaxed about it. So like I rang them up and they said I rang at 8, but I didn't get through till 9 in the morning. And if you go through at 8 in the morning, you can get a same day appointment. And if you don't, then you have to get one later in the day. And I was apparently too late because I was on hold for so long. So I said, okay, well, let's have the next available appointment. It's in 3 weeks. She said, okay, yeah, 3 weeks. Okay, fine. What's it concerning? I said, oh, I've lost all sensation in my fingers and feet, and I'm in agonizing pain in all my joints. And she was just like, not agonizing pain, obviously. It's just weird pains. But like, my left finger is now 50% numb, and it's going on in my feet as well. And it's like diabetics who lose sensation in feet don't have feet for very long.
No.
So it's got to. I'm still thinking it's all fine. I mean, I talked to a doctor 9 months ago or 10 months ago, and they put me on a waiting list, so it's not urgent. But just the realization in her voice that like, she was like, oh, okay, well, you can ring earlier in the day to get a same day appointment. And I explained that I rang at 8 and I rang the minute that you opened and here I am. So she couldn't really help, but she was like, well, you should ring again tomorrow. I said, well, I can try, but I tried that today, right? So he goes, okay, well, I'll see you in 3 weeks, I guess.
Christ.
Yeah, okay, bye. It's just weird receptionist times.
Can you afford Booper or something?
I tried that, but they fucked me over once before, so I just can't be arsed with it again. And it's just, yeah, it's another kind of stress. Like I say, it's been nearly a year, and I've spoken to 2 doctors on the way about it, and they were fine.
Yeah.
It just feels like something that would be considered, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert. Maybe everyone loses all sensation. Who knows?
Doesn't sound good.
No, but it's all right. It's fine. It's not unmanageable or anything. It's just like, oh, it's not that. But so following that was like, well, I'm not going to listen. Again, go through with more violence. I've got some old medicine that I'm trying. I spoke to another specialist about, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll get you on that new, constant nausea and nightmares medication that I started on a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
They've switched that up again, so now I'm in just constant nausea again, which is just great. Ugh. But maybe all the nausea will get rid of all the numbness. Who knows? So yeah, Wonderful. It's been fun health, non-drinking Diet Coke. I drink up to 5 cans a day. Oh. Just like, you're useless. I have to inject myself with nausea in order to fucking deal with my life. What's wrong with you? But I've probably made a bigger deal of it than I think it should be. But yeah, it's just something to monitor still. Let's see where it goes. Anyway. Oh. Hey, no more socks. I know, but no more socks. Socks later. Chillax. She got like a log with squirrels in it for Christmas. And she keeps on, and the idea is that you fill the log, like it's a foam log or whatever, with loads of squirrels, and then she rips them out and destroys them, not destroys them, but rips them from their family home, and then plays with their heads. So she wants to play with that now, and then she brought me socks. Some news this week. A bid man in Herefordshire, kung fu kicked the head off a snowman, to the demise and horror of the occupants within. Refuse operative was caught on CCTV appearing to deliver a roundhouse-style kick to the 6-foot-tall creation.
It was more of a thrust kick than a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, it was the roadhouse. I don't know. Like, lots of chaos, but decapitated the little boy snowman. He appears to casually deliver the right-footed blow while waiting for a bin to be emptied into the back of a truck, afterwards returning the bin to its spot on the pavement. So I think that's where, he's dragged it, put it onto the truck, it's lifting up. He's gone back to the house to decapitate that snowman, and then he's come back to the truck.
Right.
So I don't know whether the snowman said anything to him. I don't know. But he's definitely taken the wrong way.
So the kids, they made the kids cry.
Yeah.
Great.
The incident is reported to have happened in Hampton Rise, Hereford, following snowfall. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mother, Sophie Taylor, 25, said her 3-year-old son Joseph built the snowman. She told the Hereford Times that the boy likes to wave at the bin man every week, and was shocked that the bin man...
Hi!
No! Kicked the head off his snowman.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's great.
It builds character, doesn't it?
There's no harm done.
Learn to deal with loss at the age of 3.
Yeah. Get used to it.
Yeah. It's just what you spent all weekend building, and then some guy that you're waving to responds by murdering your friend. In other news, a gun-toting madman told a woman he'd only just met during a 2-hour ordeal, "I'll do time for you." I thought that was quite romantic, because I've always thought that I'll do prison time for you, like in terms of male-female relationship, has been I'll kill somebody who betrays you or crosses you the wrong way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I've interpreted "I'll do time for you." But he actually meant he's just going to murder her. Dangerous Samuel Pierce is back behind bars after threatening a woman with an imitation firearm in her own home. The 31-year-old subjected his victim to a terrifying 2-hour ordeal during which he claimed to be a madman. I'm a madman. It wasn't like proven, he just claimed, I am mad. Struck her on the head with the realistic-looking air pistol and threatened to kill anybody who turned up at the address.
Oh.
If anyone comes round to visit, I'll kill them. I'm a madman.
I'm a madman.
He then, Pierce then placed the barrel of the weapon in his own mouth. I'll kill anyone who comes at this address. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm at this address. Well, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Placed the gun in his own mouth, but the woman was able to knock it out of his hands and then hand it to a neighbour. You hold on to this just for a bit, please.
Yeah.
Handed it to a neighbour.
Wait. You're not a madman, are you?
Yeah. You making claims? He then left the Kids Grove property, but returned carrying a brick and a piece of wood. Took my gun away. Luckily, I've got a brick. I'll brick anybody who comes. I'm a madman. While Pierce was being taken into custody, he spat at officers and subjected one to homophobic abuse. Ooh.
I'm a madman, you gay.
Yeah, you gay marriage. Madman. Pierce has now been handed a 7-year sentence at Stoke-on-Trent Crown Court, along with an additional 2.5-year sentence for unrelated drugs.
It's some meth. It's not relevant, but here it is.
Yes. 7 years for being a madman. 2.5 years for being, the heroin man.
Yeah.
The court heard that Pierce had met his victim just 3 weeks before the incident in September, and according to the woman, the pair were just friends and not in a relationship. But he had acted aggressively towards her and spat in her face, which resulted in the police being called, and she told him she didn't want to see him again. No, you spat in my face. I don't want to see you again. This doesn't feel like love. He gained entry through her back door, so he just broke into the house. He was demanding to know why she wasn't answering his calls. She then described him taking out a gun from his back pocket and throwing it onto the kitchen worktop, saying, "I am a madman." Goes on a little bit more. He admitted to 2 counts of being concerned in the supply of a Class A drug. I'm concerned. I'm a madman, but I've got my concerns. So I think being concerned in the supply of means you're somewhat related to the supply of the drugs, I guess. So maybe he had enough drugs on him to be classified as maybe selling.
Yeah.
I guess that would be being concerned in the supply of, unless it's just a typo.
I'm just not sure why. Is it quite a romantic idea to call yourself a madman? Is it like calling yourself a bad boy or something?
I've seen Grease.
Yeah.
I'm mental. I've seen that, and I've seen
I'm
a Beautiful
fucking
Mind.
nutcase.
No, but that's something that a lot of people like to brag about, right? They like to brag that they're,
unhinged.
I'm mental. Yeah. Like, oh, you wouldn't want to see me if I'm angry. Oh,
I've got problems.
I got mental. I'm really alone. Okay. Mr. Whitehead said police have stopped Pierce on the July 27th and found a wrap of heroin on him.
Yeah.
A wrap of heroin. Like a tortilla wrap is how it's spelt. Is that how heroin is dealt now? In tortilla?
Could well be. But maybe not this side of the border. But
a crisp packet of heroin?
Yeah.
A wrap of heroin. His phone contained various messages relating to the supply of heroin and crack. Oh, that's rough. You look at my phone, it's got loads of crack and heroin on it. He believed he was in a good relationship with his victim and that things were progressing well and quickly. Well, he's mental, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is what I found funny about it. The defendant had been due to take part in a course aimed at addressing his issues with the relationships following his release from prison in 2019, but this was disrupted by coronavirus. So he was meant to have like some kind of medical guidance or medical treatment or discussion therapy about him being a madman.
Yeah.
And going breaking into people's houses with guns, pistols that look like real pistols. And trying to deal with it. So, if it wasn't for coronavirus, maybe he wouldn't be as much of a madman.
Yeah.
Never know.
I mean, you can't blame everything on COVID, though. It seems like we've gotten to that point where everything is COVID's fault.
Well, I think he's taken responsibility. He's openly stating he's a madman. It's more like, I think people just looking at it, it's like, oh, this madman, how did he get into this place? Well, he had madman lessons. He's going to have some kind of guidance. And then, bloody COVID comes along and all this happens.
Yeah.
In other news, a Tesco cleaner found a shopper dead after smashing way into toilet cubicle.
Okay.
It's a weird way of phrasing it. Just somebody died in a Tesco toilets.
Yeah.
And after 3 hours, they had to break in to find him.
Right.
Yeah.
That can't be that uncommon.
No, yeah, just people use public toilets for drugs.
Yeah.
And this was a drug thing. This was a drug overdose, I think.
Oh, right.
Apparently unintentional. They said there's lots of talk about CCTV and watching how he goes up and why people didn't do it again. They found later on the floor he's been deceased for a while. The cause of death was given as heroin toxicity. I mean, is heroin not toxic in smaller doses? I suppose it depends what you mean by toxic, right? It used to be used for anesthesia, wasn't it? Heroin, or it was a painkiller.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you can take
a.
Well, no, it's always toxic. It's just lethal or non-lethal. Like alcohol is always toxic.
Yeah, that'd be lethal heroin toxicity, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, death by heroin toxicity implies lethal toxicity, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just looking into too much. It is not known when and where the drugs were purchased. All right. The article likes to tell us that. That's fine. Got some other short...
We heard he bought them from a madman.
Yeah, some madman in lessons, but corona, I don't know. Some short ones. A barber to the stars has called a Premier League ace an idiot for sharing a photo of an illegal haircut. And this is literally, you're not meant to get haircuts in coronavirus times.
Okay.
But a footballer got one, and he took a photo of himself having a photo, and the barber was like, you're a fucking idiot. Just while cutting his hair. It's like, you're taking a photo, you're a fucking idiot.
But then
it's fun. That's funny.
So that guy's going to get in trouble, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
The barber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been quite open and be like, yeah, they shouldn't have done this. But he made the argument of like, well, I've got a business and I need to make money still.
It's
but
fair
I'll
enough.
accept whatever judgment comes upon me was
Like,
kind of his response. Which is
yeah,
fair enough.
that's the thing. Like, everybody's got that. It's like, yeah, what I'm doing isn't mandatory stuff, but paying my bills is, and the government's not going to help me. So, do what you got to do.
I think more barbers should be more aggressive with their customers. I think just call everybody an idiot.
Mate, I'd have kept going if that was the case. It was the opposite with me. They were always trying to talk about football and shit, and I just don't care.
I'm usually looking for articles, I think, when I've gotten a haircut in the past.
Yeah.
For the show. So I'm usually finding like weird. I think one of them was for Halloween. It was like looking up like how to murder something. Oh. You got any feedback?
Yeah.
Some other short articles. LA police say Holly boob vandalism of the Hollywood sign was way uncool.
Okay.
So,
That's such an
vandals,
LA way to describe a crime.
way uncool. It's just not cool, man.
Yeah.
Some vandals, I think 6 individuals were arrested for the stunt, which was changing the Hollywood sign to say Holly boob. And they claim it was to raise awareness of breast cancer. I don't think so.
Right. I think it was just people having a laugh.
Wanted to see boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
All the
making a
police are indoors,
statement. Right? No, you weren't.
Yeah. It's just, we're a charity. Charity vandalism is what we are. But yeah, if you're going to commit a crime, can you do it way cool, please? Because if you're doing it way uncool, the police aren't going to be very happy. Oh, and something I found funny. The Capitol riot where the protesters went into the Capitol building and did all that. There's a famous image of a guy with horns who looks like Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was sent to a prison, or whatever, a jail, and he went on hunger strike because they didn't have anything organic.
Yeah, yeah, no. It was a summit from his mum or something, wasn't it? She was like, he's not eating at the minute because they won't give him organic food. And it's like, you realise there's just idiots on all sides. It's like when the fucking Chaz thing was going on. You know, like, and they were sending out tweets asking people to send like vegan substitutes and stuff because the vegans and because everybody's fucking starving. It's like you're just all fucking idiots playing dress up in a world of grown-ups. It's just odd.
He does raise some good points. To be fair, Chansley, that's his name.
Yeah,
lost £20 since being transferred from Arizona to Washington last week. His attorney told the judge Chansley, who calls himself QAnon shaman, considers eating organic food to be part of his shamanic belief system and way of life.
Okay.
He's a shaman, and shamans only eat organic.
So does it fall under religious freedoms?
Yeah. I believe so, because I think shamanism is a belief system of some kind.
I mean, it's obviously like an abuse of the system, but you can't have one rule for one and one for another. You can't be like, well, no, we'll give them halal or whatever, but you can't have organic. Like, it falls under the same law. It's just one of them's being an arsehole about it, and the other ones are actually have deep-seated beliefs.
Well, it's just he's already looked like somewhat of a bellend. Yeah. Like throughout, he's been kind of the image of the idiocy of everything that went on, and then he's just further enforcing that reputation. Yeah. By being like, well, if it's not organic, I won't eat it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, just 9 days of hunger. Congratulations on your organic Weetabix or whatever it is that you got. You've won now, right? You win. Yeah. Okay. So long as you've won, it's fine.
But I mean, good. Like in a sense, good for him. Because it's like to go 9 days without food, like I haven't done that before. And I have to believe that if I was going to, it would be because A, I'm a madman, or B, it's like it's because of some deeply held belief, right? You don't do that for no reason.
Or just attention.
Potentially, yeah. But then, which could be why he was there in the first place, why he calls himself a shaman. Like, it's stuff like that. It's like 9 days without food is enough, like, to figure out what you actually believe and what you're willing to give up in order to survive. It's like, well, because you'd be fucking starving at that point.
Well, I just reckon that, he was sat in his cell and he was like, I'm forever going to be known as the twat with the horns at the Capitol riot.
Yeah.
So I've got to redeem myself. So I'll become the twat that doesn't doesn't eat organic food in prison.
Yeah. Can't.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Is this like, it's just unrelatable. I can't. Different struggles. Different people have different struggles, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's me. That's me this week.
Oh, fair enough. A few headlines. New anti-abortion bills in Texas have been introduced that, if passed, will require fetuses to appoint lawyers.
That'll work. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What is it about America and abortion? I don't understand. Well, why don't we just they're alive, they're people, right? So they can appoint their own lawyer.
Well,
okay.
So no, it does. When you go through it, it does make sense. So that it's not the fetuses have to appoint a lawyer; it's that the fetuses need a representative. So basically, at the minute,
represent the fetus.
So currently, if minors can't obtain permission from their parents or guardians to have an abortion, they have to kind of like lawyer up, and a judge has to grant permission instead. So they can still get, because it's to ensure that everybody has access to abortions.
Because
so the new law says
defendant.
The new law that they're trying to introduce has said, well, like, you can have a lawyer, but then there'll also be a defense lawyer representing the fetus. And now they're going to argue with the judge about why you can or cannot get an abortion.
So mental.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my car insurance was void. Well, do we have a representative for the car insurance? Well,
Yeah.
Okay. You got prosecution for the theft of a car. Do we have who's the car's representative? Maybe the car wanted to be stolen. Maybe it was begging to be stolen.
Yeah.
Why are we having this conversation?
But again, it makes sense in a situation where you believe the fetus is a person.
No, but in that court case example, aren't the parents the defendants? Because she's not been given authority to perform it, so she's gotten a lawyer to counter it, and they're countering the parents. They're not countering the fetus.
Yeah, so you're essentially inserting a third party into the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what does the fetus think? Well, even if it was alive, you can't argue that it's older than 18, so it probably doesn't really understand what's going on. Yeah. So it's just like, well, if you can't, the parents withholding the ability for the child to do it is what the case is about.
Yeah.
And she's trying to argue against, so why is this fetus coming along? Chatting around, getting lawyers. It feels like something being done to, what if it was an individual with no parents, no, what is it, carers, people who care for them? If you're not a dependent, you're if the child is a dependent, what are the parents? They're the something. Providers, let's call them providers.
Guardians?
If it's a 13-year-old girl, say, has no providers and is homeless or completely independent, and she wants to get an abortion, but the state says that the law is you have to be of a certain age, then maybe you can have a lot. But then the law is going to be for the state. It's not going to be. Yeah, it feels like it's a nonsense law, really, just trying to make things more.
It is
silly.
It's there to sort of jam the works, because the people that are passing it don't want to ban abortion altogether. They're anti-abortion people, so anything that they can do to modify the current laws to try and make them impossible, they will.
Yeah, but I get it. It just, I don't know. There was a thought I had just then, but I'm not sure how makes sense. But I'll talk through it. Why not? Like, the more that you make this medical procedure illegal, then the more people are going to do it illegally, is my assumption.
Yeah. It's like,
So
it's
it
the
just-
same argument as regulating drugs.
Yeah, but this is like there's drugs inside your body already. Like, as in, you fell off a building and landed on a wrap of heroin, and that's now within your liver. You need to get it out, but people don't want. It's illegal for you to get it out. Well, then I have to get it out, so I'm going to get it out. I just have to now do illegal means. But it's. I would like to know the real reason why we don't have as much of a heated argument about it in England that they do in America or Ireland, because it can't just be religious stubbornness that people are arguing with.
I mean, it
can't just be that.
I think it does just come down to that, but at the same time, the argument's not just carried out by religious people. Like, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that country on the whole is just has its laws and its morals and everything much more deeply tied to Christianity than we do. And that's kind of where it all comes from. The whole kind of like, what is it? Life is sacred, or I can't remember. The sanctity of life. I can't remember. Something.
But it's like, I can understand, like, take gun control, for example. You go, that's got to be more complicated than abortion, right? Because it's like a law that you can have guns. There's no law that you cannot have an abortion. There's just a religious belief that you cannot have an abortion, or you shouldn't have an abortion, by not even every member of that religion. It's like, what is it like? Was it Protestants and Catholics? I think some of them are pro-abortion, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like, what's the every sperm is sacred? Isn't that Protestants can wear condoms but Catholics can't?
Yeah.
Because of its birth control and that's in the way of God or whatever. You go like, well, that's not a law. It's different laws. And isn't there a whole thing about separation of church and state? I mean, I have no idea what it means, but like someone has that. Maybe we have it and America doesn't. But if there's no law saying you shouldn't have an abortion written in the Constitution, then it's like, well, where are you getting this from?
Yeah.
Just don't get it.
Know. I don't know.
I've changed my mind. All the lawyers for all the fetuses.
Why not? Let's just make it ludicrous. It's just the more the sillier the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fill the courtrooms with fetus lawyers.
Yeah. In other news, China's State Physics Lab have this week denied that they're working on a time machine.
No, we're not. No, you're not what? We're not working on a time machine. I haven't asked you that yet. Oh, fuck. Let's see what's going on here.
A PowerPoint presentation about the project allegedly pursued by Shaanxi province-based private company Ruitai has recently been circulating online. The research and development team was allegedly composed of experts at the Institute of High Energy Physics, which is China's largest state-backed particle physics lab. According to the found plans, Ruitai was intending to raise $30 million for the project that was conservatively valued at $838.2 billion. It was supposed to set up a scientific experimentation based on 16 acres of land in China, and the first trip deemed to take place as quickly as within 7 months from now. China has dismissed the claims, stating they are false propaganda.
Propaganda?
False propaganda, yeah. Don't know exactly what that means. Like, it's bollocks. It's designed to make us sound better, but, it's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But
why
I mean,
why
they've already got a
people be
son.
looking into this?
Like,
yeah. Now you want the time dimension as well. Jeez. But just what's the problem with people working on time as a concept?
They just don't want people to know. That's all. It's this weird thing's been circulating, and let's say it's true. Like, they don't. China's an incredibly secretive country as far as their science and their government and everything like that goes. Like, it's not even mapped.
Google cars have tried to be driving into China. They just end up hitting madmen all the time.
Well, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was, but it was someone. It was some kind of like mountaineering guy. I was listening to some interview with him, and he said he was doing like this big trek, and when you get to the China bit at the border, they take away anything that they take away all your GPS stuff and all of that, so that you can't be tracked and pinpointed, and so that you can't map the area, because they don't want people to know kind of like what's about and what the geography's like.
I guess kind of like Area 51, wasn't it? Like a place where they didn't want...
Yeah, but for the entire country.
It's on a national scale.
Yeah.
But again, why be don't want it? I mean, are they working on food? Oh, don't tell anybody that we're working on food. We're working on cars as well. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to hide that you've got scientists working on science?
I guess.
I guess time would be maths, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's like, well, if we get there first, then we don't want anybody to be on our tails. It's like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure if there's one lab in some country looking at time travel, there's probably another in another country, right?
Yeah.
Doing the same kind of thing.
Well, it's just, isn't it like every university PhD has got to come up with a new thesis on a new concept? There's going to be enough people looking at stuff like, sorry, I was being energetic. There's going to be enough people trying to come up with enough concepts that there's going to be people analysing or exploring everything that they can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to hide it? I mean, is he Mancunian? BBC Talks physicist guy.
The solar system guy just looks at all the galaxies.
Yeah.
And shit. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, like he's going around doing lectures on time travel, and it's like, well, it's not a hush taboo subject.
Yeah,
it's just something to analyze and to think about and to play around with in the scientific mental space.
Yeah,
China doesn't want it. China says no. But I guess again, difference in cultures.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe China has abortions as well. Who knows?
A man accused of groping an EMT at the scene of a fire in the Bronx has actually been found to have been having a seizure.
Oh. You think the EMT would know as well, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and it got to court. And then there's like CCTV footage of this guy like vibrating and then falling over and like his hands like grasping for things. And then the EMT comes over and he grasps, like he pulls on the EMT's coat or something like that. And the judge looks at it and is like, yeah, no, that's a seizure. And this woman's boss has been like,
was there a lawyer for the breast?
No, I guess not. But
I hope they had a continuance.
The head of the the EMT's boss, whatever, like captain or whatever the fuck his position is,
Captain Ambulance.
like has said, well, no, we're not satisfied that this has been thrown out. Now, like my EMT was abused, and now she's got to deal with the district attorney not believing her either. It's like there's video footage of the guy collapsing. And they spoke to like all the other people in the area, and they looked at his medical history, like seizure. He's had a lot of seizures. Like, it's weird how people like hang on to something, and I guess like maybe it was traumatic for her. Maybe it was I can fully understand and appreciate that, but be relieved, right? Be relieved that you weren't. That it wasn't what it was, and that this guy was like having like needed medical intervention.
Well, it's more than that though. It's stop trying to sue somebody for having a seizure. As much as it could have been, if you thought he was being malicious, then fair enough. But upon lots of people telling you, actually, I think it was a genuine seizure, stop trying to sue him.
I mean,
Like, it's
how fucked off would you be if you were that guy? And it's like you started having a seizure, and you in the last kind of flits of like with itness of your consciousness and everything like that, you see that there's an ambulance or a crew or an EMT or whatever just kind of like over there dealing with something. You're like, oh good, I'll be okay. They'll find me. And then you wake up and you've been subpoenaed.
Yeah. You wake up with a sexual assault accusation.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, this is new. I've had a lot of these, and this
This is a new symptom. What medication do I take for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just. It sounds like, and it could just be wrong, right? But it sounds like it's just someone looking for a payday.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, technically I was groped at work, so I should
Sort
get a payout.
Cashing in on the whole rape culture thing, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I feel
technically,
if she was genuinely like, what's the word? Traumatized, disturbed, whatever. Traumatized feels a bit heavy, but disturbed by the. No, traumatized is definitely not too heavy for someone who's actually been like abused, but. I don't know. I can't imagine a scenario where I wouldn't see the actual kind of footage and it would click and be like, oh, okay. It's just
you need to understand the intent. I mean, if you have a heated argument with somebody that you think is genuine, but it turns out the person's got Tourette's and is having a manic episode, once you learn that person is suffering from something and not actively, intentionally trying to upset you, you go, well, you have to learn to accept that person in that way. Because, I mean, if it was someone who was so drunk they couldn't stand up, and they were reaching and they were grasping and they groped somebody, it would be a different argument. Maybe it would be the same argument of it wasn't intentional, but it would be a very different feeling as opposed to somebody having a seizure. Which is like, it's through no fault of their own. I think that's the difference, right? And it's not a mental decision that they've had to do this. It's just their body is not working right now. And they're reaching for help, and unfortunately it's happened this way. So yeah, it does just feel like that person's reaching for a payday, or is making it larger than it is, I guess.
I guess it's just weird that she's an EMT. It's like, well, then surely you know, right?
Yeah, feels dodgy.
So I mean, you've probably been vomited on and pissed on and like just all kinds of fucking not nice shit.
To be fair though, EMT life is probably a strange life to begin with. I mean, I got hit by a truck and then went on a date with my EMT.
Oh really?
Personally, like, yeah. I don't know why, but after getting hit by a truck, I was on my motorbike. And I was surprisingly okay. This is my backflip story. It was great. But like my reaction from the shock was just to be more flirtatious.
Yeah.
So like she was trying to get my details, and I was just like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" And then just like talking about.
I'm trying to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, and then it was just being very talkative about what it was like being a paramedic or something. So we went out for breakfast the next morning. So that was quite cool. So. I imagine. I mean, I didn't grope them and fake a seizure.
No, that would be
maybe
different.
I should have. Yeah. Just got hit by a truck.
And finally, Celine Dion of Staffordshire, formerly known as Thomas Dodd, has stated that he has no plans to change his name back.
He's sticking to it.
Sticking to it. Celine said that he was initially worried about how to broach the topic with his work's HR department, but is now looking forward to using his name to get to backstage at gigs, which is fair enough.
Celine Dion's here. Right, how's it going? Yeah, I'm Celine Dion.
Yeah, this is obviously like a follow up of, I think, a story that you covered around Christmas time a few weeks ago.
Yeah. He had. I think he got drunk on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve and decided to become Celine Dion.
Yeah, changed his name and then woke up the next morning. It says the guy just sounds like a legend. He says it's not the most dramatic thing that Celine's done for holiday season. Last year, Mr. Dion booked a tribute act of Elsa from Frozen to switch on his Christmas lights in his driveway. Like a ceremony and everything.
I want a Disney princess to do it, please. It's an interesting tribute act as well, right? I mean, I've
it'll
never
be
seen
for
the
his
film.
kids and that, wouldn't it? But it's like winter themed and be like, we want a Disney themed thing. It's like, all right. Sorry. Yeah.
But it feels weird that you'd have that much power over somebody, right? Because, like, when you hire somebody for that event, but part of me just wants to go, it'll be much better if it was a really depressed Elsa.
Yeah.
Can you be really depressed when you do it? Just some kind of like a director.
Well,
'Cause that's what I was like about, like, for your stag do, there was, like, thinkings of you can hire, you could hire an ugly person to be handcuffed to the stag.
yeah.
You could hire a dwarf. And I was just like, that sounds fine, but, like, it would be much better if, like, they really didn't want to be handcuffed to Steve.
Yeah.
And how can I communicate that effectively whilst, like, I haven't seen them act. I don't know. I'd have to see their amateur dramatics performance and see if they can really sell that they hate you. It'd be great, but I can't go that far.
No.
But having someone to turn on your Christmas lights as a standard anyway is probably enough.
Yeah.
So,
but then she'll be from like an agency and be like, well, this is my mate Bambi who's turning on the lights in Warwick tonight.
I don't think it's a Disney thing, but yeah, it's been tough. Like, my mate the Snowman got decapitated by a bin man last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the horrific shit.
Yeah, but that's me this week.
Fair enough. Well, good old Celine Dion. Yeah. Pretty interesting week. Weird energy, I think, just because I'm vomiting in my soul
Yeah.
all the time. So hopefully that'll balance out by next record, I guess. And you can have a sock now. Go sock. Took her a moment to realise, but sure. It's good. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. See if Maria's 13th misadventure leads people on to us next this week.
Yeah.
See what happens.